There is someone lying in the dark right now, not sleeping. Not because anything is wrong. Nothing happened today. No danger, no noise. They are lying there, aware that they are lying there, aware that they are aware. And somewhere in that second layer, the noticing, sleep becomes impossible. Because you cannot watch yourself fall asleep. The moment you look for it, it stops happening. This is not about insomnia. This is about the thing doing the watching. Psychologists have a clean, almost clinical word for it: metacognition. Thinking about thinking. It sounds harmless, academic even, the kind of term you'd find in a textbook footnote. Here is what it actually means. Somewhere in your skull, there is a version of you that does not just think. It watches the thinking happen. It checks your work. It notices when you're confused before you've finished being confused. It catches the lie in your own reasoning half a second before you'd have believed it. You have never met the you that does the thinking without the you that watches doing the thinking. They have always been in the room together. So here's the question nobody answers cleanly. If there is a part of you watching your thoughts, who is watching the watcher? Try it right now. Try to catch the exact moment a thought begins. Not the thought itself, the beginning of it. The gap right before it exists. You can't. By the time you notice it, it has already happened. You are always one step behind your own mind, which means the you reading this sentence right now, deciding what to think about it, is not actually in control of the thought. You are receiving a report after the fact, every time. In 1995, a patient described to her doctor what it felt like to watch herself speak. Not metaphorically. She said her own voice sounded like it belonged to someone standing slightly behind her. She could hear the words leaving her mouth and feel distinctly that she was not the one saying them. Clinicians have a name for this too: depersonalization. The self watching the self from a slight and unbearable distance. It is not rare. Most people experience a mild version of it at some point. A few seconds where your own hands look unfamiliar, where your own voice sounds foreign in a recording, where you catch yourself mid-laugh and think, who is that? For most people, it passes. For some, it doesn't. Metacognition is supposed to be a checking mechanism, a quality control system. It looks at a thought, decides whether it's useful, and lets you move on. But sometimes the checking mechanism gets stuck checking the checking. You've done this, lying awake, replaying a sentence you said 4 hours ago, not because it was wrong, but because you're now reviewing your review of it. Was that okay? Was the way I reviewed it okay? Am I overthinking the fact that I'm overthinking it? Each layer is supposed to be the last one. It never is. This is what clinicians call rumination, and in its more severe forms, it stops being a bad night and starts being the architecture of an entire disorder. The watcher doesn't stand guard anymore. It just circles. Let's go back to the original question, because it never actually got answered. Something in you thinks. Something else in you watches it think. Fine. But what watches the watcher? If you say, another part of me, then what watches that part? You can keep going. Watcher, watching a watcher, watching a watcher. And at no point does the chain hit something solid. Something that is simply doing the watching, and not itself being watched by anything further back. Neuroscience doesn't find a single seat for this. No control room, no little person at a desk pulling levers. Just layers of processing, checking each other, none of them the final authority. Which raises an uncomfortable possibility. There may not be a real you behind the watching at all. There may just be watching, all the way down. Here is the part that's hard to sit with. You have spent your whole life assuming that somewhere behind your thoughts, there is a driver, a single, continuous you steering the car. But every piece of evidence you have, the delay before you notice a thought, The way that noticing itself becomes just another thought to be noticed suggests something stranger. The driver's seat might be empty. The car is still moving. The watching is still happening. But there was never a single someone doing it. Just an endless relay of processes, handing awareness back and forth so smoothly, it feels like one continuous person is home. Go back to that person lying in the dark. They're still there, still awake, still watching themselves try to stop watching. And now you're doing it too, reading this sentence and simultaneously aware that you're reading it. And now aware that you're aware. And somewhere in that stack, a small, quiet question that doesn't have an answer. If there are this many layers watching you think, which one is actually you? There is no clean way to close this. That's the point.